I'll give a little bit of I'll give a little bit background of women and girls with disability in globally and in Afghanistan. Then I will go for what we are doing to address those things. So let me share the screen if it is permitted. Okay, let me.
Do you know how to share the screen?
Let me do the try for. I think I have to open the uh, document first, then the share the screen. That will be okay, I think.
Yeah, now you did turn off your camera, but if you see the bottom in the bottom, you have a button that says share screen.
Yeah, let me. Where is it now? Hmm?
So I think you have to put on your camera first, yeah, and then share screen. Do you see the bottom in the lower area of the screen?
Mm. Did you? Can you see it now?
Now we see you.
Mhm.
Are you in the app or in the web page?
I'm in the web page. I do not have in the app. I do not have app in this. So
Okay.
let me. Sorry about it, because
No,
we
it's
are
fine.
we are all accustomed with Teams, not with
Yeah, not
Zooms. That's
with
the.
Zoom.
Okay. Let me try again. Okay, share the screen. Is that okay now? Can you see this?
Yes, now we see the screen. Thank you.
Okay. So, well, thank you for mm, let me take this one to this side. Okay. Uh, let's talk about global situation of women and girls with disability. As per the UN Women, around 700 million women and girls with disability in the world, which is 19.2% of total population, they say. Uh, Even it's when it is men, it's, for men it is only 12%, for women it's 19.2%. The UN Women finds that girls and women with disability, they face more violence, including sexual abuse, by the intimate partners, family, caregivers, or institutional facility wherever they work. Women with disability are 3 times more likely to be illiterate because of attitudinal, physical, and other barriers. Women with disability are 2 times less likely to be employed than in comparison to men because of those basically cultural and social barriers. Women with disability are 3 times more likely to have unmet needs of health care. They do not have access to healthcare services like countries like Afghanistan and others. There are so many restrictions on their movement, and that's why they are not allowed to access those services. Let's look at bit of situation in Afghanistan. In Afghanistan, a recent study in 2019 found that more than 80% people are having some kind of disability, but I am here only considering the severe disability. So severe disability in women is 14.9% than in comparison to men, which is 12.6%. Severe disability are more prevalent among female and leaving them more vulnerable. Let's look at their situation. Some of those studies, though not very comprehensive study done, but there are some studies they found 90% persons with disability are unemployed, and unemployment rate of women are even more than that. And in current situation, women are not allowed to work in development sector. They have so many restrictions. So it has gone down further, but there is no studies till now. A mere 20% of Afghan girls are enrolled in schools, and unfortunately, this will be further worsened because the girls and women are not allowed to attend the middle school, basically. So they are allowed till primary school in higher education, but not the middle schools. So it will further go down. Sexual harassment against women with disability, in particularly in government offices, is widespread problem. There are some case studies found that people asked sexual favor in return of giving some disability certificate or something like that. In a 2016 study found that 90% of 346 women and girls interviewed in Afghanistan, they had experienced sexual harassment in public places. 91% of them said that they were harassed in educational environment. 87% of were harassed in the workplaces. And the rights movement of entire person with disability, including women disability, in halted now because Ministry of Maternity and Disability stopped from supporting to they have asked us not to support DPOs, and they are not renewing the licenses of DPOs also. So that is going to be a bigger challenge for the rights-based movement in future. Let's look at SCS approach, how we try to address women needs and rights of women with disabilities. See, if you are looking at our strategic plan, we always try to give equal priority to both women and men. Since women are more marginalized, we have tried to give additional support to them in order to bring them and get them more access to the services and all. For example, in our physical rehabilitation services, we allow transport support to women along with the caregivers, or in Afghanistan we called it Moharam. We give them additional support so that they can travel with them to get those services there. Professionally trained women staff provide services to women with disabilities. By that I mean that when they come to physical rehabilitation center, physiotherapist and prosthetist, orthotist, all women, they provide services to women. In the community also, our women severe workers support women with disabilities, and our women teacher provide training to teach girls and women with disabilities. So that is how because we know that it's a gender bias, but still there is no choice for us to address the need and rights of women with disabilities. Another thing that we always address that since employment is a bigger challenge for women in Afghanistan, so we try to give more opportunity to women with disability to get vocational training and loan support, so that they can start their own business or own entrepreneurship at their home or within the community. And looking at the cultural context, since women are not allowed to be part of men DPOs, so what we did as we supported women with disability DPOs, exclusively promoted them, supported them. Also, we promoted some of the self-help groups of women with disability at the community level so that they can participate there and share the views. Let's look at some of our achievements. If we look at our physical rehabilitation services, if you look, I took the 2023 figure after 2022 figure after takeover by the de facto government. 41% of our target groups in physiotherapy were women. Similarly, 32% of total mobility and assistive devices were provided to women with disabilities. Every year, we do a satisfaction survey and improvement, self-reported improvement of women person with disability. We found that 83% women were satisfied with physiotherapy, 79% women self-reported have some kind of improvement. Similarly, similar is the case of mobility and assistive devices. In order to improve access to services and provide better services, SCA targeted physiotherapy, targeted more women in physiotherapy, like 77 women with disability were out of 144 total trainees were women for physiotherapy training, which is for 53%. Similarly, now 9 out of 20 P&O technicians trained were again women. So that will at least address those services needs at the country level. In preparatory education, you can see almost 40% were women, around out of 35, 3,525, 14,025 were girls. And among those passed out from the institution, from preparatory education, 78% enrolled in the mainstreaming school. So the graph will give you a better picture. I'm not going to talk about it. Out of total 256 who received vocational training in 2022, 144 were women with disability. That constitute about 56%. Employment rate for men and women, if we look after vocational training, women employment rate were 85%, whereas men employment rate was 68%. By 85%, I mean that it's all about self-employment. Women have taken more keen interest in self-employment than in prayer. So the average income of women who were employed went up from 715 Afghani to 2,718 Afghani. Participation of one of those study found that tracer study we do every year, it found that participation of women in family and community decision making increased as a result of our employment support. Then regarding capacity development, SCA supported 6 women-led DPOs. So basically, we promoted them and technically supported them, financially supported them to do the awareness activities. Within last 3 years, we promoted 49 self-help groups of women with disability and to be organized at the community level and advocate and defend their rights. SCA build their capacity on leadership, organization management, rights, and advocacy. And we do a maturity index survey every year. And we found that their capacity has been improved in governance, leadership, project implementation, systematic reporting, financial record keeping. During we had one EU project basically on human rights and disability. We recently did an evaluation, and we found that 96% of women respondents reported that both men and women with disability benefited similarly. Women with disability now participate and contribute to important family and community matters. This is a finding of external evaluation recently we did in our program. This is all about our achievements. Let me look at from future perspective, how should we move forward, particularly looking at the de facto authorities restrictions on women. And so considering these cultural barriers, we need to basically strengthen our community-based activities, basically community-based education, health, and community awareness programs, social inclusion activities. Since formal employment is a challenge for women in Afghanistan, focus should be more on self-employment, extending vocational training, credit, and technical support. So Ministry of MMD has halted support to DPO. They asked us not to do so. So we are shifting our focus to more self-help groups of women with disability, and we will continue to do that. Continue with our awareness and capacity building at the community level. One of those issues we have to take in future, that is inclusion of person with disability with priority on women and girls with disability in other programs of SCA. Strategically, we need to put in the strategy and we systematically include them in health, education, and rural development programs. And more human resources to be created in the future so that they can deliver services to women with disability. Because of this war, there have been a lot of brain drain from the country. So women human resources are very scarce in this country now. So we have to focus on particularly those services provided by SCA. We have to strengthen our women human resources. Thank you very much. This is all about this is all about our experience. We did not conduct any study in past 2-3 years. So this is what we got from our experience from the field staff, from the management staff at the Kabul level. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. If there is any queries or questions I can answer, I can. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the presentation. Is there anyone that have questions? You can raise your hand. Yes, Maria.
Yep, now I'm unmuted. Yeah. Thank you very much for your presentation. It's really good to hear that you can continue with the program. But I wonder, if you could elaborate on what is the difference for run this program for women now and during the previous government, the Republican government?
I was trying to get a view that whether our activities were affected because of these restrictions and all. The answer was no, except supporting women with disability DPOs. Other activities are continuing as usual, although there is little bit of challenge in movement and restrictions in the movement and transportation activities are normal. Our women staffs are directly going to field instead of coming to the office. But one of our major support that was to 6 women with disabilities OPDs, that is stopped this year. We don't know what will happen to that. Whether we can continue with that, government will lift the restrictions. We have no idea still now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We have a question in the chat. and it's, are there ongoing activities for women with disability? Can SCA transfer money to activities in Afghanistan right now?
Nödvändigt.
Can SCA transfer money? No, no way we cannot transfer any money for rights movement because this current government doesn't recognize any rights, including we even don't know whether they will recognize UNCRPD or not. That's the there are a lot of ambiguity. They didn't neither they said neither they declined it nor they accepted it. It's hanging in between. So when the constitution is not existing. So and they have put a lot of restrictions, particularly this kind of rights movement of organization of people with disabilities.
And there was, I think, another question in this question. Are there ongoing activities for women with disability?
We are continuing with all our activities at the community level, and the only institutional activities are our physical rehabilitations and all. Since we organize vocational training activities, though it's a small institutional activity, preparatory education is a small institute, but it is organized at the community level. So there is no issues of women working there. We got, basically, it is very difficult to get permission from the national government, but we negotiate with provincial authority, district authority to get a permission to allow us to work there. So it's basically happening at that level, not at national level.
Okay. Thank you. If we don't have any more questions, I don't think so. Thank you, Bikram, very much for your presentation. No, I don't think we have any more questions here. Yeah, thank you. It was very interesting, and we are so glad that you could participate and share your experiences and knowledge about this topic. Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a great opportunity for showcase our programming. Basically, disability program is a small component of entire SCA. We have a very small budget in comparison to other programs. But if you look at identity of SCA in Afghanistan, that's more due to disability programs because only one or two organizations working on those issues and all. ICRC, Handicap International, SCA, these are the three prominent organizations. So I would request management to continue with support for this disability program so that SCA should keep that identity in future. Probably we may go into more inclusion, but still disability specific activities are needed for at least next 10 years minimum, looking at the context of that. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share something what we are doing at the field level. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.